Hi, Flashtube. It's Diane. Today is July 20th, the last day of driver's ed. Yay! My daughter won't get her permit today because the state is being lazy and not sending out a tester like they used to. But anyway, we had, let's see, my daughter update. The oncologist did call, and it is confirmed that my daughter has classic Hodgkin's lymphoma, bulky disease. It's good news on several fronts. First of all, to have a diagnosis so we can move forward. Classic lymphoma, or Hodgkin's lymphoma, has a very high survival rate, and there are several defined treatment plans, and also the drugs, the chemo drugs. There was a concern that it would affect her fertility in the future, and these drugs are egg friendly, is how the doctor put it, which is really good news. I don't have to worry about fertility treatments at this time. It's raining, so you might hear some rain on the roof. It's not really hard, it's just rain. It's kind of nice to have a break from the heat. I think today, when we were driving in, it was 66. Well, last week at this time, it was like 85. And the humidity was unbelievable. Anyway, this weekend is supposed to, I think it's supposed to clear up. But I just hope that the humidity stays away. So you're going to hear the rain periodically. The doctor had called my daughter just shortly after I filmed that I recorded that last clip. I picked up my middle daughter, and then my older daughter called and said that the oncologist had called her. So it was within probably 20 minutes of that last clip. The oncologist, they called her back. Yeah, so they called her back and said that they wanted to start chemotherapy next Wednesday. The follow-up with the oncologist is still this coming Monday, the 23rd. But they wanted to start chemotherapy, and the oncologist had told my daughter that prior to starting chemotherapy, she wanted her to have 2 more tests, a pulmonary breathing test and an echocardiogram. I think they want to get a baseline, particularly because this mass, this tumor, it is pressing against her windpipe. It's not into her lungs, but it is pressing against her windpipe, and I think that was one major reason for the pulmonary one, but also to have kind of a baseline. She had the test yesterday, so this was Wednesday when I did the last clip. She had the test yesterday, Thursday, and I was with her. Very interesting test. They have like this little telephone booth kind of thing, and they shut the door, and you've got the thing you're breathing through. It was very interesting. And I'm not sure exactly what they're measuring and how they're going to interpret. I was watching the computer screen and all the little squiggly lines and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't have no clue what that means. But they are not starting chemotherapy next Wednesday because the echocardiogram, like apparently there's a backup. The echocardiogram people called her and said they could get her in on August 16th. but the oncologist hadn't put urgent on the order, but she had put urgent on the pulmonary breathing test, and so she got it the next day. And so I have no idea when this echocardiogram is going to happen, but we have our follow-up on Monday, and I think that's when we'll find that out. We can also find out specifically what drugs the doctor's thinking, because my daughter needs to make sure insurance is going to cover it. But we can get more of our questions answered. I think I have it in my bag. I have a lime green journal that I've been writing every appointment and every, just kind of, so my daughter and I can keep this straight on who says what and when and what happened when and what was the result. And so we have kind of a written record of that for ourselves. And so you open it up, and on the right page I've been writing, we had this appointment, blah blah blah, but on the left page as questions come up, okay, so for the next appointment, you just kind of, is she going to lose her hair? That was a question my husband brought up. Will like chiropractic treatment, that type of thing, benefit her overall? Because her chiropractor said it could benefit you, keep everything in line. But she's not a touchy-feely kind of chiropractor. But if you feel good and you're not having a neck pain, then your body can focus on healing other places. So that part makes sense. Just questions like that. She still has her incision. She still has the steri strips on. They're supposed to come off by then. Should she be putting bacitracin on there to keep it soft so it doesn't form such a huge scar, and then eventually put scar cream on it? That kind of question. So I've been writing a bunch of questions down for the doctor so we can really kind of figure this thing out. My daughter is encouraged to know what it is, but still there are a lot of big things, and she's less than 6 weeks from her college degree. Her boss has been absolutely amazing. Her boss is like, you know what? If you come into the office and you feel like you need to, you can just lay on the couch and work from the couch in the office, and I will count that you're working in. So her boss is just amazing. I haven't met her boss, but she's been so willing to work with my daughter. It was weird because my daughter was concerned that she was going to miss a staff meeting yesterday because it was during her appointment. And then she gets a notification that morning because she went back to her apartment Wednesday night, and she said, I slept for like 10 hours. It felt so good. She had woke up with work telling her that they had a power outage, and the power probably wouldn't be back until the afternoon. And she's like, okay, well, there's my staff meeting. So they totally rescheduled the staff meeting, so she doesn't have to worry about that. But that's the news. It's called bulky disease. It's a designation because the mass is 8 centimeters at its widest. Bulky disease, if I remember right, if it's anything over 7 centimeters. So this is 8, so that's why they're giving it the bulky disease designation. So chemotherapy first, and with the bulky disease, the doctor said that there will be radiation on the tail end because of the size of the tumor. As for, are they going to operate and remove the tumor at some point? That's one of my questions for next week. Excuse me, I just ate some yogurt and I took a shower instead of eat breakfast this morning. So that's where we're at. Yesterday was one of those hard days. It was hitting me. I thought I slept well Wednesday night, but I didn't. I slept better last night. I think I did. it was hard seeing her go back to her apartment. I mean, it was good, but it was hard. This whole thing has been hard. Anyway, I do have some stuff to show. I don't think I have any more stitching. I've been trying to stitch, and I'll pull my stitching out in I don't know. I think I'm gonna start a new project. Something to keep my stitching bug going, because we can all relate that stitching reduces stress and helps. So if I was at home, I could have this all laid out so you wouldn't hear plastic, but I'm not. Bummer. Some goodies I received in the mail. I ordered this, Alice. Now someone said that this arch here is the mirror, and that they were gonna fill it in, because you see that purple, that's the Provence lavender fabric. It's not too bad of a fabric to stitch this on, to be honest, compared to some of the other colors they've chosen for these designs. Somebody said they were going to fill this in with some metallic. Not quite sure how they're going to do that, if they're going to do like long stitches or full crosses, or maybe just half stitch. I don't know. I think it's really pretty. When I stitch this, I am really thinking I'm not going to stitch the curtains. I think I'm just going to stitch Alice in this arch and then fill it in. But hopefully by the time I'm ready to start this, somebody else will have done it, so I can see their progress. Yeah, the curtains I think are just too much on this particular design. Doesn't mean I can't use them in another one of Nora's designs. And then this is what I ordered, one of the things I ordered for myself for my birthday, Lady Mirabilia. Trying to figure out what fabric to stitch her on. Yeah, because there's all those purples in her cape. And I actually have the DMC for this, and the colors are amazing. But I also ordered the bead pack. I don't usually order the bead packs because I have a good collection of beads, but I just ordered everything, including the 2 water lilies and the Krennic, so pebbles and Shenandoah are the water lilies. And then I ordered them through Just Add Needles on Facebook, Marie. And because of all the Mirabilia snafu stuff, the re-release stuff, anybody who ordered the Lady Mirabilia, she gifted them this, the cameo. So it's that little celebration book, and she gifted them that. And that was, sorry, that was very, very generous of her. She didn't have to do that. But it's still a sizable piece, 3 3/4 by 6 1/4 on 32 count. It's pretty, very pretty. I do not think that Nora watches my videos. In case you do, Nora, I mentioned in May when I saw you at the retreat in Texas that it would be so cool to have a mature mermaid, you know, with silver flowy hair and a pretty shawl, you know, not quite so perky. If you're not old enough to understand that question, yeah. There's a certain age you understand what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get this back. I don't want to lose any of my items, because that would bum me out. So I ordered that through Marie, and I did order the newest Pixies, Monk Hood. They're the Poison Pixies, Monk's Hood, and Poison Ivy. My friends gifted me a certificate to 123 Stitch and for my birthday. And so I finally ordered, and the items came. Please hold. Oh, here we go. These are 3 of the patterns that I ordered. These are all by Chessie and me. This is Lincoln Home Sampler 1860. It says, I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place is proud of him. A quote by Abe Lincoln. And then this one is Grant House 1865 sampler. Let us have peace. Above the eagle it says preserve the Union. And there's some more history on the inside of the pattern. When I get into the patterns I can tell you about that. This is Gettysburg 1862 sampler. And liberty is the only thing you cannot have unless you are willing to give it to others. After my daughter's appointment yesterday, I went to Stitchville. I needed to kind of unwind. And I bought this. This is 36 count flax. I'm thinking I can fit one. Well, I should be able to fit, if I did my math, I should be able to fit all 3 of these on this flax. I mean, I would display them separate, not all on this, unless they're not all the same size. They're within a stitch here and there of each other. But yeah, that's 36 count flax. Hopefully that's 18 by 27. I think I could get all 3 on there. Because if they take 9 by 18 piece, that would give me 3 of that. Hopefully, I did the math right, I hope. I also ordered, with the 123 Stitch, I ordered this one. I'd been looking for this one. Stitchville was out of it temporarily. I looked in Texas, and both shops I looked at in Texas were out of it. When I first looked at 123 Stitch, they were still out of it, but then I looked again a couple days later and it was back in stock. Sunrise, Lugana, Mermaid. I have the moonlit one. When I was in Texas, talking to one of the Jens, she said it'd be kind of cool to have an ombre fabric, and then like one of them, you'd have the light to dark color here, and then on the other one have the dark to the light color. And I looked at the places I regularly order fabric from. Hold on, please. Nothing big, just some guys walking by, and it's like, I don't want to be talking to myself either. Anyway, I looked at the fabric places that I have ordered fabric from regularly, and I know Leslie right now is unable to do the painting. She's remodeling her garage so she can paint fabric again. And then Fiberlicious, I looked at hers, and I looked at a couple others. I just didn't find one that I thought would look good with both patterns, because you know, they have this border. Both of them have a border like this, and I think they might even be the same size. They're close. If they're not exactly the same, they're close in size. So when I was at Stitchville yesterday, I found this. Now, apparently Stitchville is carrying some hand-dyed by Stephanie fabrics, which I did not know. I know they carry Picture This Plus, R&R, Reproductions, Lakeside Linens, Weeks Dye Works, Witchelt, Zweigart, probably some other one I don't remember. But I didn't realize they had some of some of Stephanie's fabrics. And this is Frozen Fractals. It is blue with greens in it. It's very subtle, very subtle. And this is linen. It's not Lugana. So when I was experimenting on the fabric viewer with this pattern and the moonlit one, I noticed that having a light blue background, both patterns looked really good. So this one piece that I have should fit both. I wonder. Okay. Stitchville doesn't serge their fabrics. It'd be nice if they did, but that's okay. Where'd my other thing go? A friend gifted me something else for my birthday, and I know I grabbed it. Maybe I didn't. Oh, here it is. So my friend contacted me and asked me what my favorite color is, and I said green, and my husband's like, oh, just tell her blue. And I'm like, why would I tell her blue? Well, because that's my favorite color. You just tell her that your color is green and mine's blue. And okay, so I told her, so my husband's being really weird. He wants me to tell you his favorite color is blue. I said, I have no idea why. But she gifted this to me. Not pretty. And what it is this end is seam ripper. And this end, she called it a stitch remover. I also thought, you know, sometimes when you're making sure that the border lines up, or you know, that type of thing, you need a little counting pin. This could also be a counting pin. It could also be, I don't think this would go through airport security very well. So if I ever take this anywhere, I'll be driving. Let's just put it that way. I won't take it on a plane. I won't trust it. It comes in a little pouch. And this is the person that she got it from. It's the Groovy Seam Ripper. I don't know if, I think somebody else has shown this. I don't remember. But Nancy is the woman who, she makes them, or she sells them. And here's her information. So phone number, email, and then Facebook. I have no idea the ordering process, but you can definitely contact her and she will walk you through the ordering process. So there's that. Yeah. There's one more piece I got from 123 Stitch for my birthday. And then I'll show you what else I got at Stitchville. It's this one, Rosewood Manor baskets. This was a market release last year. And I decided to use the recommended fabric. This is 28 count Ren Lugana by Picture This Plus. I love this fabric. This color it's such a beautiful color. It's a neutral kind of gold green color. So that's the fabric that is actually called for. So I ordered that. And then I also ordered the pretty Valdani threads. Now, I've never used Valdani, and I was reading one thing about Rosewood Manor patterns. She gives you a lot of help in the pattern itself. Tries to really hold your hand with the pattern. And I have a feeling if I ever run into any issues with one of her patterns, I could easily contact her and get some help. But you're supposed to use all 3 strands of the Valdani as it comes off the ball. A little brighter here, isn't it? So I like to use 36 count needles, or 36 count needles. What am I talking about? 30, that would be like microscopic. I like to use 26 count, or yeah, number needles. And I've tried 28s. I just don't like 28s. Of course, I tried the DMC brand 28s, and I don't like the DMC brand needles. But anyway, when I asked Deb at Stitchville yesterday what she would recommend for the Valdani, she recommended size 24, so size 24 needles, specifically for that piece. And I might even start this today. Why not? When I was at Stitchville, I also picked up Bianca Bella. She's been on my wish list for a while. glasses, see if I can. I found this piece, Glendon Place, A Bloom of Hope. Now this is specifically designed for breast cancer. And when it's stitched up, it's 5 by 12.5 inches on 28 count water lily Jobelan. And this is the water lily Jobelan right here. It's a green, very, very light green. I have used water lily, not in the Jobelan, but I have used that color before on my summer garden as water lily. So I picked this up, and this is a 19 by 27 inch piece. On here, they say if your fabric a 13 by 18 would be sufficient. So I should be able to get 2 out of this because I purchased so the pattern calls for 6 DMCs, 3 greens, and 3 pinks. And it also calls for 3 pink water lilies. I pulled the water lilies, and one of them was highly variegated. The others not so much, at least the skeins I had. And I love water lilies, don't get me wrong, but they are pricey. And I'm not mad at anybody for price gouging. I don't think anybody's price gouging. But the Caron collection also carries Soie Crystal. This is still 12-stranded silk, but it is solid colors, or they're more solid. There is some slight variegation in them, but they're more solid than not. So I switched the colors so I can stitch it for my mom for breast cancer, because she is a breast cancer survivor. But then I also converted the colors to purple. So the same greens and then purple. Violet is the color of ribbon for lymphoma. And so I also went to the Soie Crystal. Though I ended up with two skeins, same number. I think I meant to get 6014 and I grabbed 2 of the 6013s. I'll pick up the other one. But sorry, I almost dropped something. So I want to do this on the same fabric, but in purples. You know, they're in the flower is, see, the water lilies are a lot in the border when I looked at the pattern, and they're a little bit in the flower. The flower is mainly DMC. So I thought I'll do this once for my daughter and then once for my mom. This might be the one I start. I might start this one today. But the thing I almost dropped is I got another pair of scissors because I had a blue pair of these for years. I ended up breaking them right across here on both little things. I don't know how I did that. But I like these scissors, and I like them. I like putting a scissor fob on there because I just throw my scissors in my bag. I know I'm not. Some people are very specific in how they store their scissors, and I'm not that person. What I like about this is if I throw this in my bag, the sheath is going to stay on. These are also very sharp, so you can get very accurate cuts. And this is the small size. There's one size bigger also, which actually I think I might have it with me in this bag. They both work really well. Oh, that's my earbuds. Oh, here it is. So here's my scissor fob. This is the bigger size, and this is the smaller size. I prefer this size, but this size works great too. And I like scissor fobs. This one I got from Stitchingly Along. It says sweet. I always thought, well, why do you need those? But then I started trying scissor fobs, and I really like them. Because I could always dig in the bottom of the bag because it's heavier, so they go to the bottom. It's easier to find. And then this needs to go over here. I know none of you ever wonder what your thread is for and then stick it on your shirt. Nobody else ever does that. But I'll let y'all go. The phone. It's the clinic telling me my son has an appointment on Monday. Thank you. I know that. I have it written down like 3 places. But yeah, I'll let you guys go. Thank you for your comments, encouragement. I'll let you know if my daughter would feel encouraged by cards. I mean, she has her good moments and her bad moments too while she's going through this. Yeah, I'll let you guys know that, and then if you want to send her a card, you can contact me, but we're really letting her dictate what happens and when. But thank you for subscribing and watching, and just this community in general is fabulous. And yeah, there's still drama going on Facebook. Can I say, if someone posts something that offends you, instead of griping to the entire group, if it doesn't break the rules of the group, if it breaks the rules of the group, contact the admin and say, hey, I think this breaks the rules of the group. But if it does not break the rules of the group, either just scroll past, put your big girl panties on and scroll past, or you can block them. You can, so there's the post, and there's these little 3 dots in the upper right corner. You click on there and it says snooze the person or hide all from this person, and you can do that, and then you won't ever see their posts again. I've done that for some people, or for some organizations that keep trying to get into my Facebook. Hi, floss tube. I know I just made a clip earlier today, but then I had to run a couple errands, and while I was at the car dealership, which always takes 15 times longer than it possibly should, I was there to pick up what I thought would be just a little simple part for my van. There's this little plastic flappy thing. It's supposed to be on the battery terminal, and obviously it's never been there. And I told the guys, I want to do what I can so we can get 10-15 years out of our van. And the $5 part that they ordered was wrong. So he's like, oh, well, the part you need is $150. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's just this little flippy thing to... Oh. I thought, well, it'll protect the terminal, help with avoiding some corrosion. Not everything, because it is Minnesota, but... And even I had to go to the service department and talk to him, and I had him go out. I was driving the van, so I said, I have my van parked right there. Let's go look at it. So he went out and he looked at it. And yeah, so they ordered the part, and I said, this part, this has got to be under the bumper-to-bumper warranty. I mean, our van has like 4,100 miles on it. We haven't even, I think August 4th, we'll have it for 1 year. And we haven't had a chance to go on a bigger trip yet. Anyway, while I was at the dealership, my daughter called. She had her echocardiogram this afternoon. I was not at that appointment, but she said it went well. She texted me afterward, and she said it went well, and she said that her doctor should have the report probably today, this afternoon, if not first thing Monday morning. Monday morning is her follow-up with her oncologist, and I will be at that appointment. They also scheduled surgery to insert the port that they're going to use to administer the chemotherapy on July 30th. Apparently it's a 2-hour procedure. My husband and I will both be there during that time. And then possibly begin her chemotherapy August 2nd, which is my mom's birthday. So my daughter has, oh, you don't have the body to pull off that look. Jeez. How some people think to dress. Well, don't think when they dress. Anyway. My daughter has a trip that she planned with some friends, kind of a big, hey, I got my college degree, hurrah. The end of August, beginning of September. It's kind of a long weekend. I'm going to fly out to Seattle. But I don't know if she's going to be able to make it. Because with that port and stuff, she might not be able to fly, or she might just not feel up to it. Oh, I hope she can go. She's worked her tail off. This year, she earned 46 college credits. And she was on the dean's list every, I don't know if they did quarters or semesters. Every time the list came out, she was on it. She worked her tail off. So I'm really hoping she can go. And I was talking with our auto mechanic because the car that I'm driving in, it needs an oil change, so I got that scheduled. But she had mentioned to me that her car has a slow oil leak, and I was talking to the mechanic. She thought it was the oil pan. It's the oil gasket, which is different. So that I'm trying to gather funds. Try to figure out how to do it, though. That I talked to my mechanic, and he said that, you know, we could prepay, so when she needs regular maintenance on her car, she bought her own car, she paid it off this last year, she's, you know, done the regular maintenance, new tires thing as she needs it. So she's kept her car in very good condition. I think it's a 2011 Avenger, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can gather funds. I would love to pay for the repair myself, but we can't do it. We can do part of it, though. Because I thought if we put some seed money in there, and then others can contribute, you know, $20 here and $50 there, and then we can just take it to the mechanic, and they'll have it on record that she has X credit. So when she, I told the mechanic what was going on, and he's one of the owners. So definitely they can do this credit thing, because I asked him about it. And so we can give him, say, hey, you know, give her a $300 credit. Just one less bill that she'll have to worry about, one less thing, you know, I'm just trying, to be honest, if I could, I would do the chemotherapy for her, but I can't. I can't do the physical part of all this, but I'm trying to do the practical part. I'm going to make some really good beef broth, because I have a whole huge box of soup bones, and I got the veggies for it. I'm going to do that this weekend, work on that, because we like it for our soups too. So I'm just going to make some, put it aside for her. We bought some really good blueberries that I get every year, froze some of those for her. You know, just trying to give her some good food to help with groceries a little. yeah, and just kind of that, so she can just focus on getting better. I'm not quite sure how to do that. We told all the kids last night, told them that their sisters, you know, they knew that their sister wasn't feeling well. I'd already told them that, but we told them why. I don't know how, you know, the older kids understood. I don't know if the younger kids understood as much. But I said, okay, when she's in our house, you have to make sure that you're washing your hands all the time because we don't want to give her a cold. I'm going to have to be with her a lot, so there's times I'm not going to be at the house, so you guys need to, you know, just do your basic chores, sweep the floor, laundry, you know, that kind of stuff, just to keep things moving. And I think they understood more. But to be honest, all of this is hard for an adult my age to understand. So I'm sure that they will have questions in the future. But yeah, Monday is the follow-up with the oncologist. The 30th is the surgery to insert the port. And maybe chemotherapy begin August 2nd. At least that's the schedule right now. Oh yeah, she does not have the body for that. And this, I'm going to have cut off shorts and have the pockets hang down below the hem thing is so silly. Anyway, I just wanted to update you on that because that's the absolute latest news and it'll probably change tomorrow. But I thank all of you who are praying and thinking about her and following these videos to know how she's doing. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate this community, and I thank you for subscribing and watching and just letting me be here. There's a lot in this world that likes to exclude people for religious beliefs or size of family or political beliefs or gender. Or it just, to be honest, if we all looked exactly the same, they would still find something to separate us. But this community really tries to unite people together, and I appreciate it. I also started the Rosewood Manor baskets. That Valdani is pretty interesting, all 3 strands like that. I haven't stitched with 3 strands in quite a while. I've done silk with 3 strands, but the Valdani is cotton, or at least this maybe they do silk, I don't know. What I have is cotton. It's interesting. The color is really nice though. So I just have to kind of take my time and use shorter strands. And then I think it'll be fine. I also was digging through my stash and I have plum pudding started, so I found a light purple silk that I can use on the cancer piece for my daughter. That'll work, so I don't have to worry about that other silk. So that's good. I'm just sitting here waiting for the boys to get done, and so I suppose they'll be done here any minute. But yeah, I'll talk to you all when I can. It's really nice to sit here and just kind of talk about this without a lot of people. Well, what do you think of this? You know, that questioning. I could just say, okay, here's that part of this whole floss tube community is nice. Not to mention the comments that you all leave. And I do read them all. As I said before, sometimes I'm not in the frame of mind to return your comment. But I do read them all, and I appreciate every one of them. So I'll talk to you all later. This will probably be part 2 of my update video, but that's okay.